I love Jeff, but sweet and hot. Whoop, Mr. Moco, I'm a coffee spot.
Welcome to Fueled by Death Show. Hey, it's not just a podcast anymore. Get ready, the show's about to begin.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
It's a very tiny hand hello.
I don't like that voice.
Hello.
Go back to normal, Jeff. No,
Welcome to Fueled by Death Show. Happy Wednesday, everybody. We're halfway through the week. and
Hello.
You guys are here with us.
Lucky you.
Everything seems to be working tonight, which is good. Although, welcome to everybody on Facebook, on Twitch, and on YouTube.
Yay!
Twitch seems to be having a little bit of problems with the chat room right now. Hopefully that will be up and running very soon. I do see someone in the chat, so that is good. But if you guys are just joining the show for the very first time, I am the Incredible Jeff.
I am the mother of content.
And we're so happy that you're here. Every single Wednesday, we do a live show right here on Facebook or on Twitch or on YouTube. And we also like to give something away. What are we giving away this week?
Today, we are giving away three. I can't hold up three.
wait.
Three 2019 mugs. So no matter if you're watching on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, you have a chance to win. All you got to do is drop a comment wherever you're watching. Let us know you're here. Interact with us. We'll interact with your comments throughout the show. And at the end of the show, we will pick three winners. One from Facebook, one from YouTube, one from Twitch. And we will announce the YouTube winner live. So make sure you stay tuned till the end to see if you won on YouTube.
So one more time, all you guys are doing exactly what you have to do. You just drop a comment in those comments, join the conversation. One lucky comment will be picked at random on each platform to win a 2019 mug. Not only a 2019 mug, one that Shannon and I will sign the bottom of and send right out to you.
That makes it worth 50 cents more.
On Twitch and on YouTube, or on Twitch and on Facebook, we will announce the winner in the comments after we sign off. We cannot do that on YouTube, so we will announce the winner right before we sign off live. We will say your name live. And hello to everybody just joining us on YouTube, on Twitch, and on Facebook.
Yay!
Yay! Everything we do here would be nothing without the voice of death himself, Mr. Brock Powell. We love Brock to death. Brock Powell is the voice actor that does all the voices on Fueled by Deathcast except for mine and Shannon's. Although we should start paying him to do our voices too.
Ooh,
I think that'd be
like
fun.
that idea.
And he does 1,000 voices out there in the world. If you guys are Disney fans and you're subscribing to the new Disney Plus series, you can actually hear Brock in a couple of the amazing shows that are on Disney right now. And we're going to actually talk about Disney Plus a little bit later in the show.
Yes.
Another thing that is really cool here
What's
at Fueled by
really cool?
Deathcast is for all of you guys out there who are fans of what we do, you get a special discount
Ooh, that
code.
is cool.
What is it?
You use the code Mother of Content for 12% off your order from deathwishcoffee.com. It's my code. Use it, please. Praying.
12% off. That is the coffee. That's the merchandise.
It's whatever
just-
you want it.
We just came out with Rumball for the season.
Rumball.
12% off on that. We'll be talking about that later on in the show as well. In fact, we have one hell of a show for you guys tonight. On the update, we're not only going to talk about the Rumball and the instant coffee, which are right around the corner, but we're going to show you for the first time ever our brand new golden ticket mug
Oh, my God.
that's coming out very, very, very soon. We're also going to show you a sneak peek of this week's podcast guest, who I'm very excited to bring back to the show for the third time. And we're talking about some really cool stuff, including Disney Plus. And before we get into that, Shannon and I are going to run down our thoughts on Disney Plus. I actually got it last night. She can't wait to leave the show tonight because she's going to go and check it out for the first time tonight.
I'm pumped.
And we're going to talk about some of our favorites and some things we're really excited about on that platform. You're also going to meet this week's Death Star of the Week. And this week kicks off the first part of a 4-part science series. And I'm really excited for this series. Another episodic series that I came up with that I really wanted to dive into, and it's going to be called The Science of Humanity in Space. And I'm going to look at the history and the science behind a lot of the stuff that allows these sacks of meat and bones to actually live and breathe and work in the vacuum of space. And part 1 is about your own personal spaceship.
Sacks of meat.
Hey, we are sacks of meat. We're magical skeletons with sacks of meat around us. And so this week on Science, it's part 1 of the science of humanity in space, and this is the science of spacesuits.
Science!
Welcome to Science, and part 1 of our 4-part miniseries on the science of humanity in space. The idea of space travel and traveling through the cosmos has sparked the imagination of humanity for centuries, and early science fiction actually depicted this with absolutely no repercussions. The hero could just as easily live and breathe on Earth as they could in space or on another planet. This changed in the late 19th century, and science fiction embraced a more realistic depiction of space travel. The earliest examples of the spacesuit in fiction are Edison's Conquest of Mars in 1898, and also the popular comic book series Buck Rogers in the 1930s. But a spacesuit is so much more than just the clothes an astronaut wears in space. It is basically a one-person spaceship designed to keep the wearer safe, comfortable, and alive in the vacuum of space. The spacesuit has gone through a lot of changes over the years as science and technology have improved, and we are on the cusp of a brand new era of space exploration which will usher in new and improved spacesuits once again. NASA has a long history with spacesuits that started with pressure suits needed for pilots in high-altitude aircraft. The first attempts were not that great, and the U.S. military finally developed what was called the Henry suit in 1946, deemed the S-1 suit by the Air Force. This was a partial pressure suit. Partial pressure suits are skin-tight and meant to put pressure directly on the body in case of decompression at dangerously high altitudes. Full pressure suits are basically a loose-fitting bag shaped like a human with rings at the wrists and neck to attach the gloves and helmet. When space exploration was nearing the point it would become a reality, NASA needed to redesign the full pressure suits to astronaut suits called EVAs. In fact, there are technically 3 types of spacesuits: the EVA, or extravehicular activity, the IVA, or intravehicular activity, and a combination of both called the IEVA. To be considered a spacesuit, many requirements have to be met to ensure the utmost safety and usability. The most important is a stable internal pressure. This can actually be considerably less than the pressure here on Earth because there is no need to account for nitrogen, which makes up 78% of the atmosphere but is not used by the body. Lower pressure allows for greater mobility but increases the risk of decompression sickness. The other main requirements of a spacesuit include mobility, oxygen supply, temperature regulation, communication systems, and solid and liquid body waste collection systems. So I'm going to be predominantly talking about the EVA suit, or specifically the EMU, the Extravehicular Mobility Unit suit, the big white bulky suit that we all know. And some of the science that goes into allowing humans to actually live and work outside of a spacecraft or a space station. Let's break down some of these requirements. First of all, oxygen supply. This is definitely the biggest no-brainer, but some science definitely had a hand in creating the best way to keep astronauts with enough air to breathe. Spacesuits get the oxygen either from a spacecraft via an umbilical cord like back in the day, or from a backpack life support system that the astronaut wears. Also, the astronaut breathes out carbon dioxide, and this needs to be removed from the suit's atmosphere. Most spacesuits are equipped with lithium hydroxide canisters, which can be found in the life support backpack or on the station if the suit is connected via the umbilical cord. The backpack is the PLSS, or the Primary Life Support Subsystem. It contains many of the things that astronauts need to survive in space. As you can see in the diagram, it contains the primary O2 tanks and regulators, and also the H2O tanks for the water cooling system. It has its own battery, its fan, its motor assembly, and its antenna and extravehicular communications and caution and warning systems. The layers of the spacesuit are extremely important to help with temperature regulation and protection against micrometeoroids and solar flares. Spacesuits are made up of many layers. The spacesuit arm itself has over 14 layers of material to protect the spacewalker. The liquid cooling and ventilation garment makes up the first 3 layers. On top of this is the bladder layer. It creates the proper pressure for the body, and it also holds in the oxygen for breathing. The next layer holds the bladder layer to the correct shape around the astronaut's body and is made of the same material as camping tents. The ripstop liner is the tear-resistant layer, and then the next 7 layers are mylar insulation and make the suit act like a thermos. The layers keep the temperature from changing inside, and they also protect the spacewalker from being harmed by small, high-speed objects flying through space. The outer layer is made of a blend of 3 fabrics. One is waterproof, another is used to make bulletproof vests, and the third is fire-resistant. One of the most frequent questions astronauts get is how do they go to the bathroom in space? Well, in an EVA spacesuit, astronauts wear a MAG, or a maximum absorption garment, which is basically a large adult diaper. The communication system is twofold. The communications carrier assembly is also known as a Snoopy cap and houses the headphones and mic for the astronaut to remain in contact. The display and control module is mounted on the front of the spacesuit and allows the astronaut to communicate with the suit itself and control the PLSS. The EVA spacesuits also include a wrist-mounted checklist and mirror to aid with mobility and visibility. Mobility is the biggest thing that has plagued the spacesuits since their early days. You need to minimize the effort required to bend the limbs, resisting a soft pressure's garment's natural tendency to stiffen against the vacuum. Moving within an inflated spacesuit is very tough. Imagine trying to move your fingers in a rubber glove blown up with air. It doesn't really give very much. To help this problem, spacesuits are equipped with special joints or tapers in the fabric to help the astronauts bend their hands, arms, legs, knees, and ankles. But most spacesuits, both the EVAs and the IVAs, including the Advanced Crew Escape Suit, are sized poorly with some interchangeable parts, longer or shorter arm or leg parts, which do not help with the comfort or mobility of the astronaut. In fact, there have been multiple instances of joint pain, back pain, and even fingertip problems from astronauts having to live and work in these suits that are not entirely fit to their frames. This is all about to change with the brand new designs of the Artemis program and the Artemis spacesuits. But before we get into that, let's look back at some of the most notable spacesuits throughout history that led to this point. The SK-1 was the suit developed for Yuri Gagarin, the first man in space. After his successful launch in 1961 on the Vostok 1, the suit was used for the next 3 years in the Russian space program. There was even an SK-2 suit developed for women, and the first woman in space wore one in 1963, Valentina Tereshkova on Vostok 6. And a fun fact, Valentina is also the only woman ever to have a solo flight in space. The Berkut was developed for extravehicular activity and was worn by Alexei Leonov during the first ever spacewalk. The current Russian spacesuits are the Sokol spacesuit, introduced in 1973, and much like the U.S. Advanced Crew Escape Suit. Also, the Orlan MK spacesuit, developed in 1977 and still used today as the standard EMU. The Mercury spacesuit was the first of its kind for the Americans in the space race and was basically a slight redesign of the Navy flight suits worn by test pilots. The Gemini program made 3 versions of the spacesuit, and Ed White wore one of the EVA versions during the first spacewalk from an American astronaut in 1965. The Apollo Skylab A7L EVA suits are the most iconic, as they were the spacesuits worn by the astronauts on the moon. These suits featured the backpack PLSS system and also boots with tread to accommodate walking on the moon's surface. All of these amazing advancements in what astronauts wear in space to keep them safe has finally led to today, as we look again at visiting the moon with an eye on making it to Mars. NASA has unveiled the new design of the IVA and EVA. First up is the Orion spacesuit, or the Orion Crew Survival System, replacing the Advanced Crew Escape Suit. It is designed for a custom fit and equipped with safety technology and mobility features to help protect astronauts on launch day, in emergency situations, high-risk parts of missions near the moon, and during their high-speed return to Earth. The Orion suit has been enhanced from head to toe with improvements to the suit worn on shuttle missions. Starting at the top, a number of features on the helmet allow for improved comfort and function. The helmet is lighter, stronger, and comes in more than one size, helping to reduce noise, and is easier to connect to the communication system needed to talk to other crew members and mission control. While shuttle-era spacesuits came in off-the-shelf sizes like small, medium, and large, the Orion suits will be custom fit for each crew member and accommodate astronauts of all sizes. The suit's gloves, the part of the spacesuit that receives the most wear and tear, are more durable and touch-screen compatible, and improvements to the boots provide protection in case of fire, fit better, and help an astronaut move more nimbly. Even though it's primarily designed for launch and re-entry, the Orion suit can keep astronauts alive if Orion were to lose cabin pressure during the journey out to the moon, or while adjusting orbits in Gateway, or on the way back home. Astronauts could potentially survive inside the suit for up to 6 days as they make their way back to Earth. The XEMU, or Exploration Extravehicular Mobility Unit, will allow astronauts to maneuver and accomplish much more thanks to technological advancements that have been made since the Apollo missions. Until Apollo 11, the greatest concern with the lunar soil was that it wouldn't support the weight of a lander or the astronauts inside. Now we know that the greater danger is that the soil is composed of tiny glass-like shards, so the new suit has a suite of dust-tolerant features to prevent inhalation or contamination of the suit's life support system or other spacecraft. The familiar backpack PLSS, or Portable Life Support System, has been upgraded, and miniaturization of electronics and plumbing systems inside have made it possible to build in duplicates for much of the system, making some failures less of a concern. The duplication also increases safety and could increase spacewalk durations. The new lower torso includes advanced materials and joint bearings that allow bending and rotating at the hips, increased bending at the knees, and hiking-style boots with flexible soles. On the upper torso, in addition to the updated shoulder placement, other shoulder enhancements allow astronauts to move their arms more freely and easily lift objects over their heads or reach across their body in the pressurized suit. Inside the helmet, NASA has redesigned the communication system. The headsets, or Snoopy caps, on the suits in use today can become sweaty and uncomfortable inside the helmet, and the microphone doesn't always track well with the astronauts' movements. The new audio system includes multiple embedded voice-activated microphones inside the upper torso that automatically pick up the astronaut's voice when they speak to their fellow spacewalker, their crewmates aboard the Gateway, or mission control in Houston. A new feature on the improved suit design is the rear entry hatch. Astronauts will be able to climb into a spacesuit from the back of the suit, which allows the shoulder elements of the upper hard torso to be closer together than the suits currently in use. The improved shoulder placement increases mobility and enables a better fit, while also reducing the risk of shoulder injuries. In the anthropometry and biomechanics facility at NASA's Johnson Space Center, astronauts will undergo full-body 3D scans while performing basic motions and postures expected during spacewalks. With a complete 3D animated model, NASA can then match the astronaut to the module spacesuit components that will provide the most comfort and the broadest range of motion. Before the first woman and the next man take a step on the lunar South Pole in 2024, NASA will test the new suits and several of its components on the International Space Station in a spaceflight environment to confirm the overall performance. And these are not the only new technologies being implemented into spacesuits. SpaceX, Boeing, and more are developing new spacesuits with the latest in technology to aid the astronauts in comfort, mobility, and safety. Astronauts wear their own personal spacecraft that has been developed through years of humanity living and working in space, and as technology continues to advance, so does the spacesuit. Next week, I will be discussing the science of spacewalks and how astronauts use their personal spacecraft to the fullest as they float miles above the Earth in space. So cool. I had so much fun researching that segment because I learned so much about a spacesuit, like the iconic white bulky spacesuit that, we landed on the moon with. Like you see it all the time, but you don't really think about. I had no
What's
idea.
in it?
14 layers. Like I had no idea. That's just
or the water
insane.
compartment or the water
Yeah.
that runs through it?
Yeah. And I love seeing all the comments, you guys liking those segments as well, because I put a lot of love into those, and I'm really glad that you guys dig them too. Before I get to some of your questions, I just want to mention for anybody just joining the show, whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube or on Twitch, make sure you drop a comment in the comments, join the conversation, and one lucky comment on each platform will be picked to win a 2019 mug signed by Shannon and myself. We'll announce the Facebook and Twitch winners after the show is over in the comments, and we will announce the YouTube winner right before we sign off. And
Heck yeah.
also, if you guys, I know you can't really do it that much on YouTube, but if you're on Twitch or on Facebook, feel free to share the show too, or host the show on your channel. It really helps more people come and have fun and see what we're doing here, and it's a lot of fun. I do want to mention some of the comments that I saw about that segment, which were really fun. Robbie Scott over on Facebook, actually, I saw a lot of you guys say this, but Robbie, you were first. You were asking, where's the coffee in the tank in the PLSS? Because they got
That'd be
water,
pretty
they
sweet.
got oxygen. Where's the coffee? I'm with you. They should have like coffee on their pack the whole time. But it is on the International Space Station, and if you don't know, it's most likely Death Wish coffee too.
DeathWishCoffee.com/space.
Yep, go check it out because we're there. Over on YouTube, John Hecox, you were saying how it's crazy how suits are getting thinner and lighter. And I saw a lot of comments about that too. It is really neat that technology is finally catching up with science fiction. You saw that even the new XEMU suits are still very bulky,
Yeah.
but they are a lot thinner.
Comparatively, yeah.
Yeah, and I do want to circle back to another comment actually I saw on Facebook from Richard Smith, was asking about the new suits and what did they weigh. I actually didn't see that. I want to look that up, what the new Artemis suits weigh. I know that the bulky white EMU suits, the ones that, astronauts are doing spacewalks in now, can weigh up to 280 pounds, which is crazy with everything that's on it and all that stuff. Yeah, it's insane. But it's really cool. Dreadwolf over on Twitch, you mentioned how, we really should get to the point where we're doing fitted suits for people. And you guys saw at the end of that segment in Artemis, we are going to be doing that now. We're going to 3D print your body. And what's cool is like they're going to go to Johnson Space Center, and astronauts are not just going to like stand, in like a scanner like you do at the airport, and they're going to scan you. They're going to do all sorts of movement and like, crouch down and all that stuff. So they're really going to get every measurement possible. So when they get these suits made, they're going to be tailored to that astronaut, which is going to help them so much more. They're going to not have that joint pain. They're not going to have all that kind of, it's just going to be really, really awesome.
I wish they'd do that for real clothes.
Yeah, me too.
Perfect fitting pair.
Finally, over on YouTube, Bernadette Riley, you asked, where do I get all these cool videos to use in my segments? NASA.gov. Go to NASA.gov, and right at the top, there's a gallery tab, and you can scroll down to images and videos, and they have an incredible search bar, and it's all public domain. NASA has so
much
footage. In fact, I was laughing with Shannon. Some of the footage from the moon landings. In fact, I was showing Apollo 17 and also footage from Apollo 11 and Apollo 14 in that segment. And when I was just searching NASA.gov. I just wanted to get some footage of, astronauts in the suits on the moon moving as I'm talking about them moving. And the first couple hits were like, would you like 9.5 hours of Apollo 14? Like just raw footage on the moon? And it's like, I don't think I have enough space on my computer for that. But it's awesome. It's
Literally
awesome.
kill the computer.
You want to talk about a rabbit hole. Go down that rabbit hole. It's really cool. So next week, it'll be part 2. And I'm gonna be researching all about spacewalks, and right from the beginning when the Russians did it, and to when the first American Ed White did it, to the most recent all-woman spacewalk that just happened, and everything in between, and what it really takes to be on a spacewalk, which is pretty crazy.
Sheesh.
And I can't wait. We're gonna keep chugging along on that segment. Another segment we do on this show every single week is feature one of you.
Heck yeah.
On the Death Star of the Week. And if you've never met Ray Browell, you're going to meet him right now.
Good. It is a fully operational Death Star of the Week.
Ray, thank you so much for joining me on the Death Star segment this week. And I'm going to start like I always do. I want to know, how did you first hear about Death Wish Coffee? Either the coffee, the company. Do you remember what year it might have been?
Actually, it was 2016, I believe. Your Death Star 102 Terry, I think she was 102. She's my cousin.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, my dad was in the hospital. He had a quadruple bypass, and she took it actually comes together. But she had took a break from her place of employment and come upstairs, and when she enters the room, the mood just changes immediately. So it went from, we're in a hospital to, we're knocking elbows with each other. Hadn't seen her in quite the number of years neither. So, and she kept talking about this Death Wish coffee, and we became reacquainted, talked to each other on the phone and whatnot, and Facebook. And she kept showing me cool mugs and this and that, and the denim jacket and the patches. And finally I give in. I'm like, I got to try this coffee out. And I was sold.
Excellent. That's so cool. So before finding Death Wish, were you a big coffee drinker?
Yeah, a whole bunch of years.
Awesome.
Coffee all day from like wake up to bedtime.
Excellent. Me too. What's your go-to brewing method for your cup of coffee?
Quick and easy. I have a bun. I just grind up the beans, put them in the basket, and let it go.
Beautiful.
Looking to get a Chemex dough and a French press. I do got a cappuccino maker, but I rarely ever use it.
Yeah, I had one for a while too, and it just kind of collected dust. And I can't say enough good things about the Chemex, but there is just something great about just hitting that coffee button and having coffee magically appear in your cup. It's
exactly. Yep. Quick and easy bun. That's a good thing about a bun. Quick and easy.
Exactly. So the other side of that is obviously the cup of coffee we make, but the cup that we want you to put it in. Do you collect any of the mugs from Death Wish Coffee?
I do. My wife and I, I'm trying to look over there where I got them. I think we got 10, 11, maybe 12.
Wow, that's your got an incredible collection already. Right. So, do you remember the first mug you might have got from Death Wish?
It was the denim mug.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah.
I still love that glaze. I want to do another mug with that glaze.
And actually, that is. I usually ask that. What's your favorite mug? That one actually is my favorite mug to drink out of.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I love that mug.
You prefaced that by saying your favorite mug to drink out of. Do you have a favorite mug that isn't to drink out of?
That's a three-part answer, actually.
All right.
The denim mug is my favorite mug. It fits my hand perfectly. I love drinking out of that mug. The space mug I drink out of the most often. I love the space mug. My Friday the 13th mug is my most valuable one for me because Terry gave it to me. So, yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome. That's really rad. So you've been a fan of the company since 2016 when you discovered them. You've seen what we've done. You've seen the mugs we've made, the merchandise we've come out with. Is there anything we haven't tried that you'd like to see us try?
Actually, I would love to see a good quality deck of playing cards, actually. Decent. They got to be decent, though. Not like grandma's flimsy paper cards in her kitchen drawer. They're going to be like a bicycle with the air cushion technology.
Yes.
That would be most excellent.
I will 100% comment on that. That is something we've been kicking around for the last year or so. We really want to do a deck of cards for two reasons. One, there's a lot of card players here at Death Wish, which is fun, you know, and that would be fun. And also, there's a lot of Magic aficionados. A lot of us like Magic, so I mean that'd be great too, you know, to have a Death Wish playing card. And then we've had the craziest ideas with them. We've thought about, you know, making all the face cards employees of the company and like doing all sorts of random stuff with them. And we have started to look into some companies that will do them, and we're trying to find. We're trying to find a good price that we can make, you know, a high quality, you know, deck of cards that won't break your bank if you buy them.
That'd be awesome.
So that's awesome. I'm so glad that that's something that that's why I love asking that question, because it's cool to hear people like you know, wanting something like that. Because when we have crazy ideas around the office, we're like, this sounds like a fun idea. I wonder if anybody would even want this thing, you know?
Oh yeah, most definitely. So I do have a couple more too, actually.
Oh, bring them on.
Actually, I have one for ladies. My wife really, really wanted one bad. She went right to Death Wish website and it didn't have one. She saw my winter stocking cap. Well, women can buy stocking caps that have a hole in the top where they pull their ponytail through. She really wants one of those. Something terrible. She's like, they have to make one of those. So I was like, well, you never know. So
that's a good idea. I'm gonna tell people about that. I never even thought about something like that. That's a great idea.
Because she can wear them at work, but she can't wear the regular one at work because she has to put her hair underneath.
Right.
She said, but if it had a hole in the top, I could pull my ponytail through.
That's really cool.
The third one, and to avoid getting the ponytail wet on the way into work, a Death Wish umbrella.
Another great idea, another thing that we've looked into doing. And again, it comes down to, we always want to come out with a really good product, but we also, you know, try to do our best to keep, you know, costs considerable whenever we're doing something new like that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, we're a coffee company. What we want to do all these crazy merchandise ideas too. So that is another thing that we've looked into and we're continually looking into is because it would be great to have a jet black umbrella, Death Wish umbrella. That'd be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And when we find the right people to help us make that, it'll definitely be something that we do.
That'd be cool.
That's excellent. Those are awesome ideas. Ray, thank you so much for taking time with talking with me. It was really, really awesome to talk with you on the Death Star segment.
I really appreciate you guys having me today. And please do me a favor and wish Miss Sierra a happy new adventure in her life. And I wish her nothing but the best.
Will do.
And thank you so much for having me on today.
Excellent. So cool talking with Ray. Man, he had a lot of ideas.
Yeah.
We love hearing your guys'
amazing ideas. And reading all of these ideas, too.
Yeah, for sure. One final time.
Mugs!
Mugs!
We're giving away 3 mugs. No matter if you're watching on Facebook, Twitch, or on YouTube, we're giving away a 2019 mug pictured here. They will each be signed by both Jeff and I. So if you're watching on Facebook and Twitch, we will announce the winners. After the live has ended, we will tag the winner in the comments. And if you're watching on YouTube, we will announce that live before the end of the show. So if you're watching, drop a comment, join in the conversation, let us know you're here. And we will randomly pick some comments at the end.
Yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
But so before we get into a sneak peek of the podcast episode coming out tomorrow, which I'm very excited to get to, kind of on the same thing is something I wanted to talk about, which is Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
Both Shannon and I are Disney kids. We're always going to be Disney kids. But it's fun because we come from 2 different Disney backgrounds.
Jeff's old.
I'm not that old, but I was lucky enough when I was a kid. My parents got Disney when I was at a very young age. So both my mother and father were very excited to show me the Disney stuff that they loved from the 50s and the 60s. So I grew up with the original Mickey Mouse Club. And a lot of that old school stuff. And you are much more from the 90s Disney.
I am from the 90s Disney.
And a lot of stuff past that, which is now on Disney Plus, that I have no idea about any of it.
I would like to say that I was an OG Cinderella,
Of
Peter
course.
Pan.
And that's all on there too. I don't know if you guys have subscribed yet. 10 million subscribers first day out, which
Nuts.
is crazy. I want to do a little bit of screen magic here, so bear with me.
Disney magic.
We're gonna do. Just so if anybody has not seen this, I'm gonna show you on the computer. I'll go like this, and
Hey.
I'll go like this.
Hey.
And here is Disney Plus. This is the interface for Disney Plus right now, which is really, really cool. And as you can see, you not only get everything with Disney, you get everything with Pixar, everything with Marvel, everything with Star Wars, everything even with National Geographic. And that's what's really exciting, is because I am such a National Geographic fan as well. And they have a bunch of original programming, as well as, obviously, all of their normal stuff, like their hit movies. Every Simpsons episode ever. I'm so excited for that. I caught the first episode of The Mandalorian as a Star Wars fan. I'm so
Talk about it
excited
all
about
day.
that. Yep, so excited about that. And you can see, like out of the vault,
Dang.
like, look, every single Disney movie out of the
That is
vault.
my childhood lineup right there.
It's so great. And
Lizzie McGuire.
Yep, yeah, and you're a huge Lizzie
Oh,
fan.
I love Lizzie.
Which is great. And it just the lists go on, and you
Boy
can
Meets World.
Yep.
Wow, this is great.
Yeah, Boy Meets World, That's So
That's
Raven,
So Raven.
the original
Monsters,
X-Men,
Inc.
The original Parent Trap with Haley Mills.
Oh, dang. The Sandlot, Miracle, and Remember the Titans I See. Is that We Are Marshall on the bottom right?
Yep, and Ben Knobs
Oh,
and Bruce
Invincible.
Strings, Invincible. All the old school Mickey Mouses, including Steamboat Willie. The Imagineering story I watched last night, that was really good. I'm going to go back to Us here real quick. Boom, there we
Heyo.
are. And, yeah, I'm really, really, really excited about Disney Plus because I'm such a Disney fan, but I'm such a fan of everything that is now part of the Disney balloon.
Right.
And
There's so much.
some of the stuff I was telling you about that I'm really excited about is not only everything out of the vault, not only all of their original programming like The Mandalorian, which I'm so freaking excited about, all the Star Wars stuff, but some of the old school movies and television exists on Disney Plus. I haven't seen in forever. My wife and I watched one of my favorite Mickey Mouse cartoons in the world. It's called Mickey Mouse's Trailer, and it is from 1939, and it's Mickey, Goofy, and Donald, and they basically are living in this trailer, but it's like one of those, back in the 30s and 40s in the animation, they would always have like the futuristic stuff where everything would like come out of the
Yeah.
walls and like do all that stuff. So it was like a very futuristic trailer, and it gets separated. Goofy's driving the truck or the car, and it gets separated from the car, and Donald and Mickey have this crazy time almost falling off a cliff, and Goofy's like kind of just singing when she comes around the mountain. And it's adorable and awesome, and I haven't seen it since I was 5 years old, probably. And it was so cool to just go
Aw.
click, and it was right there. Not only that, so many old school movies. I blew my wife's mind last night because she had no idea that Kurt Russell was actually a Disney star.
I didn't know that.
And both of his movies, when he was a real young man, The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes and The Strongest Man in the World are both on there. And I love those movies. And I'm so excited for all this old school stuff. Like, it's just such a plethora of things. Now, granted, yesterday it was a little hard to watch a lot of this stuff because it was crashing because 10 million of us
Literally 10 million
subscribed
people.
to it. But I really think that it is one of the coolest frickin' platforms, and it's just going to have so much new stuff
I can't wait.
to do.
I
And
can't wait to
you are,
watch.
like I said, are from a whole other era. You're excited about Lizzie McGuire.
Oh, man. Let me just run this down. Lizzie McGuire, Even Stevens, That's So Raven, all of the Disney Channel original movies. Let's go through a few. 13th Year.
What's that?
It's about a teenager who becomes a mermaid when he turns 13.
I love it.
It's so good.
Oh, I
Luck of
saw
the
that.
Irish. That's a good one.
Okay, yep.
Smart House. Growing up watching Smart House, like everyone wanted a Smart House. It cleaned up after you, it
Oh, yeah.
talked to you, made your food. Oh, man. But also the classics. I was a big Peter Pan fan, like I said. Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Emperor's New Groove we talked about. Can't wait to watch that.
And Disney
So
now,
many.
with their partnership with Fox and Marvel and Star Wars and all that kind of stuff, all of that exists on there. So all the Home Alones, they're on there. Hocus Pocus is on there. all the Halloween towns for you younger kids out there. Those are-
Sandlot.
Yeah, Sandlot, all the sequels. I had no idea. I'm a big Disney animation fan, so like all the animated movies I love. I had no idea that there were 3 sequels to The Lion King or 2 sequels to Pocahontas.
The sequel to
or-
Pocahontas is dumb. Don't watch
I
it.
had no idea though. That was just absolutely incredible, and they're gonna constantly put more stuff right out on this thing, which is so cool. Original programming from Marvel, 4 new shows out of the gate with 3 more coming. Original programming from Disney. I mean, we're getting a Monsters, Inc. show series, which is going to be great.
Monsters, Inc.
That series, The World According to Jeff Goldblum, I watched
That
the
looks
first
awesome.
I watched the first half of the first episode last night, and it's all about Jeff Goldblum discovering sneakers. I mean, what's more whimsical than that?
Interesting.
It's incredible. And I feel like I'm in a commercial right now, but I just can't say enough good things about Disney Plus. Also, our voice of death himself, Brock Powell, is on a show called Milo Murphy's Law, and you can watch both seasons available now on Disney Plus, along with Phineas and Ferb and a couple of the other.
Phineas and Ferb is great.
The Phineas and Ferb movie is up there.
That's awesome.
Brock's in that. There's also a couple other things that Brock is a part of, like a couple different Mickey properties and stuff like that. It's so awesome. I'm just excited about it. I hope you guys are too.
We're very excited.
I did the whole bundle. I bought the bundle for Disney Plus, ESPN Plus, and Hulu.
Sports.
So I'm pretty excited about that. But I mean, Disney Plus itself is $70 a year, which is so cheap. For out of the gate, there's over 300 movies and over 7,000 episodes of television on Disney Plus.
That shit cray.
And that's not even including the National Geographic documentaries and the Disney specials that are on there. Just so cool. So yeah, I'm so excited. And what's great is I've been seeing all of your comments go up.
Kim Possible.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just so many of you guys getting excited about the different things that are on there too, and it's just going to be great. And the reason why I'm talking about Disney Plus is, well, not the reason, but one of the reasons is the guest this week on the podcast coming out tomorrow is Brian Volk Weiss. This is the 3rd time Brian's been on the show. Brian Volk Weiss heads up a company called Comedy Dynamics. He actually executive produces a lot of the stand-up specials that you know and love on HBO and Netflix and Comedy Central and all that kind of stuff. But I've had Brian on the show twice now, 3 times, talking about one of my favorite Netflix shows called The Toys That Made Us. And it is a episodic series that takes a in-depth look at a specific toy line. The first season was all about Star Wars and G.I. Joe and Barbie, and then they went into Transformers and Hello Kitty. And this season, I'm so excited for because it is Power Rangers toys, wrestling toys, My Little Pony toys, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Loved My Little Pony.
And I'm so excited about a show like this because Season 2 is a great example. I knew next to nothing about Hello Kitty other than what Hello Kitty actually looks like. I obviously didn't collect the toys. I know nothing about it, And it was such an interesting episode because I had no idea, what went into that series to make that toy line. So I'm very excited about this season. We talk about the new season. We talk about the spin-off series called The Movies That Made Us. The Toys That Made Us Season 3 actually comes out on Friday. So if you guys subscribe to Netflix, definitely you guys can check out that. But The Movies That Made Us, that's coming out at the end of November, the day after Thanksgiving. It's coming out on Black Friday, so I'm very excited about that. And to tie it all together, another thing we talk about is that Brian is developing a show for Disney Plus about the creation of some of the parks and amusements that Disney has done. And it's going to be hosted by a guy you might have heard of, The Rock.
What?
Yeah. So,
I didn't know that.
yeah, so it's pretty cool. So we talk about all that and more, and I have a very cool sneak peek with Brian of tomorrow's episode right now where we're talking about Season 3 of The Toys That Made Us right here.
Fueled by Deathcast.
I've been able to kind of, see you go through this journey with Toys That Made Us, and it's something that, it wasn't just an idea that hit your desk and you're like, let's just try to make this happen. This was a passion project for you from the beginning, from the inception of the idea. And to, be able to pour yourself into that and to, cross your fingers and toes and hope that it works out the way that you would love for it to work out. And to now be into season 3, that just, as a fan, that makes me so happy for you. And it's also so amazing to see someone who is creative and passionate about something and have it, come to fruition like this.
Well, I'm living it, so imagine how I feel. Yeah. We're doing a show now for Disney Plus with The Rock. Would not have happened without Toys That Made Us. I mean, the entire thing happened because The Rock loved Toys That Made Us. His people reached out to us to get in business. That's how much he loved the show. And the guys running Disney Plus are all huge fans of the show. So like, it's literally changed everything about like my day-to-day business life.
That's so awesome. And going back to like season 1, obviously as a fan, that had 4 great episodes. Obviously my favorite was Star Wars because I'm such a Star Wars nerd. And season 2, my favorite episode is the most surprising episode ever is the Hello Kitty episode because I had next to no information about that line and now know so much little nuances about how Hello Kitty came to be and learned so much from that. And I'm so excited for season 3. I mean, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a huge part of my childhood, but wrestling, My Little Pony, and Power Rangers also too, just make this succinct thing. And again, going back to your first appearance on this show, 2 of those were things that you were surprised about. You were telling us that how surprising it was when you were looking into Power Rangers and wrestling and the core audiences behind that and the toys that came out of that. Now into season 3, are you still getting surprised by the show, by making the show?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's no way around that because, first of all, the thing that's so interesting about the toy world is, it was funny. Doing Movies That Made Us allowed me to have a point of view on Toys That Made Us because with the Movies That Made Us, it made me appreciate that like with movies, everybody always wants to talk about it. So like we would go to the actors, the producers, the directors, and they're like, I can't talk about Die Hard anymore. I've been talking about Die Hard for 40 years. Like I got nothing. But then you got someone like Jim Swearingen, who contributed as much to my childhood as anybody. All that guy wants to do is tell his secrets and his stories and everything. So everyone we talked to, especially people we hadn't talked to before, especially for the My Little Pony episode, and even to a certain extent, the wrestling episode, I mean, we got a lot of scoop. And, one of the things that was also great about season 3, if you remember, we shot seasons 1 and 2 simultaneously.
Right.
So we didn't really have any extra help in season 2 from season 1 because we did them at the same time. Season 3, a great example is Saban. Saban does not like doing interviews, period.
Wow.
His least favorite interviews to do on Earth are about Power Rangers. He's been talking about it for 30 years.
It's true.
His people reached out to us to say, how come you did My Little Pony? How come you did Hello Kitty and Star Trek and not Power Rangers? You need to do Power Rangers. So we got an interview with him without even trying, where I guarantee you, if Power Rangers was in season 1 or 2, we wouldn't have gotten Saban. He watched the show and loved it because of the comedy and the pathos. So even when we interviewed him, all his people were like, including setup, you have an hour. You have an hour, you have an hour, you have an hour. We were with him for almost 3 hours.
Wow.
Like his people would hand him notes and he'd be like, get out of here. Like he couldn't have been happier. And part of it was he loved the like storytelling style that we use. But the other thing, which was really interesting, which he told me after the interview, was he could tell we had done the research. And like he was like, 8 out of every 10 questions people asked, I'd never been asked before.
Wow.
And that's why it went almost 3 hours, because he'd never been asked. And the reason we were able to do that is because we do pre-interviews, for months, and we're able to, we'll talk to John Doe or Jane Doe, and, they worked on Power Rangers for 9 months in 1992, but they had a great story. So we spend the time talking to them, and then that allows us to go to him and say, hey, what about this? And he's like, I haven't thought about that in 30 years. Oh my God, I'll tell you what really happened. So we got a lot of scoop.
That's so exciting. So cool. I hope you guys tune in tomorrow to that brand new episode with Brian. I've loved talking with him the last 2 times, and this time was that much more exciting because not only do we talk about The Toys That Made Us, coming out on Netflix, Season 3, this Friday on the 15th, so you guys have time to binge watch Season 1 and 2 before Season 3, and then The Movies That Made Us that comes out on November 29th, and The Movies That Made Us is Die Hard, Dirty Dancing, Ghostbusters, and Home Alone. And I asked him what was one of the most.
Good.
I was like, was the most surprising things he learned about those movies, and he told me a couple stories on this episode. But one I'll tell you right now. Did you know that Die Hard is actually a sequel, and it was supposed to star Frank Sinatra?
Interesting. I did not
Crazy.
know that.
Crazy. So definitely tune in tomorrow, wherever podcasts are found, for my really cool interview with Brian Volk-Weiss about The Toys That Made Us. And as we wind down to the end of the show, you guys know we love doing the update. And I just want to let you guys know, tomorrow is Golden Ticket Day. Woo! So, you guys want to see it, right?
Yes.
You want to see that? Do you want to see the golden ticket?
Yes, they do.
All right, let's go to the mug cam.
Wow.
Wow. Oh.
Uh-oh.
Wow. No mug cam.
Is it not on?
Oh, wait. How about this? Wow. There we go. All right.
Hey.
There's a mug cam. Here we go.
3, 2, 1. Woo! It's not focusing that much, but we're okay. Back it up a little bit. Hey, there we go.
There we go. Look at that. Beautiful storm gray with a storm blue, like, glaze on top. The Thor Valkyrie mug.
It's beautiful.
Now, if you guys don't know about Golden Ticket, I'll run it down for you real quick. Golden Ticket Day means tomorrow, every single order placed on deathwishcoffee.com tomorrow will have a chance to win one of these mugs. And there's usually only around 20 or 22 of these mugs in existence that we're going to give away to 20 lucky orders that are ordered on deathwishcoffee.com. You could order a pair of socks. You could order a pound of coffee. You could order a bag of Rum Ball. You could order whatever you want, and you might also get one of these mugs in there. But what's really cool is every single order tomorrow, I'm going to go back to the mug cam.
Wow.
Wow. All right. Is going to get one of these.
It's a patch. Thor and Valkyrie patch, which is navy blue and yellow, if you're having trouble seeing the colors at all. So every single order tomorrow, no matter if you win the Golden Ticket mug or not, will get this patch.
And we're really excited about it because this
is the regular mug. Look at that. Money shot.
Yes. Yes, the black and red is the regular mug that will be coming out very soon. And the storm gray and blue is the golden ticket. So one more time.
So pretty.
Every single order tomorrow on deathwishcoffee.com will have a chance to get one of these golden ticket mugs. Every single order on deathwishcoffee.com tomorrow will have a chance, not a chance, will receive one of those patches. And if you guys are a coffee subscriber and you subscribe to Death Wish Coffee, not the email, the actual coffee, and coffee's delivered to your door every couple weeks or every month or however you do it, you will have a patch in your next subscription order. And another perk of being a coffee subscriber is that Golden Ticket Day is tomorrow. So that means only in a couple weeks the actual release of this mug is going to happen. And when that happens, if you're a coffee subscriber, you get day early access to get that mug.
Pretty sweet.
Super, super excited. I do see a couple questions. How many ounces are the mugs? I don't know off the top of my head, but this is the Hammer style mug that we came out with in 2018.
I want to say it's 14 plus.
Yeah, I think it's 14 plus. But this was our yearly mug from last year.
It's a hammer shape, which
it's a hammer
how perfect is that for a Thor?
For
and Valkyrie
Thor.
mug?
And we've been listening to you guys. One of the things that everybody had talked about at the beginning of 2019 was, man, I wish you guys would do more women on mugs. And we thought, who's the most badass woman we know? Well, it's definitely Valkyrie. And as much as we wanted to feature a mug just with Valkyrie, it's way cooler to feature it with Thor and one of Odin's wolves on there too. It's just and all the thunder and lightning and swords and hammers and
There's a lot going on. It's great.
It's so
beautiful.
great.
I love it.
5,000 are made. Every single order starting at midnight until midnight the next day. You guys have a chance to get a golden ticket mug and then also that patch. So we're pretty excited.
Pumped.
And here's something that you guys can order tomorrow.
Rumble.
The Barrel brand rum ball. I'll go in a little close for you. Blam. Look at that. Look at that. Have you guys gotten this yet? Do you like our Barrel brand? Barrel brand. This is our chocolate rum ball, and
Dang, is it good?
it smells so good. We age the coffee beans, the green coffee beans, in empty rum barrels. So some of those spirits seep into the green coffee beans, and then we roast it off, and you still get that little bit of taste. And we add a little chocolate notes in there, too, when we roast it. And it is so great. 8-ounce bags, all whole bean. And when it's gone until next year.
Bye-bye.
This is the perfect time tomorrow. Go on over to deathwishcoffee.com, pick up a bag or 3, and
or 5 or 10.
you're going to get a free patch. You're going to get that guy, and you might have a chance to get one of those. How frickin' great is that?
Sounds like a perfect situation for me, Jeff.
I'm so excited. Last thing I wanted to talk about is something you guys have been really excited about, and we're excited about too. It's our instant coffee.
Heck yeah.
These boxes will contain 8 sticks of these Death Wish coffee single-serve packets. This is great for the person on the go, that person who has
Especially for the holidays.
literally no time to do anything. All you do is take one of those pouches, pour the coffee in a cup, add some hot water, and there you go. You've got delicious instant Death
And
Wish
that
coffee.
packs a punch. 300 milligrams of caffeine per instant coffee packet.
Yeah.
So it's strong instant coffee. If you think this is going to taste watery or gross, it doesn't. Actually tastes very good.
And this is a brand new product for us. This is something we've been working really hard on since we launched it into space last year. And we've been just making sure that the packaging's right, the product's right, it delivers the punch like you said, and it is right around the corner to be released. It should be released in the next few weeks. We're very, very excited about it. It'll be available on our website and then hopefully everywhere because, again, I know a lot of you guys out there are like, instant coffee, whatever. And you're right. I'm with you.
Yeah, but this.
I'm going to take this anytime I go to a hotel that I think is a little sketchy, that might not have, that has that questionable coffee in the hotel room, or has no coffee in the hotel room, and you have to go down. You have to go down to the crappy continental breakfast coffee.
And that water just tastes, water. Coffee tastes
like
water.
It
Burnt
really
water.
does. So, I mean, this is going to be great for when, we inevitably have to travel and stuff like that and be able to bring it along with us. Because, again, it's just hot water. And it's great in a pinch. And it does pack 300 milligrams. And what's really exciting, I can't wait to release this.
Wait, there's more.
I can't wait to release this because I know a lot of you guys out there are cooks and bakers. And I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. With recipes and stuff like that.
Send us stuff.
I think that's going to be great. So that's all on the update that we got to talk about tonight. One more time, don't forget, tune into the podcast wherever podcasts are found tomorrow. That's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Music, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, wherever that is. Or in full video on the Death Wish Coffee Company YouTube page, for my full interview with Brian Volk-Weiss. It's really awesome. Then tune in on Friday on Netflix for season 3 of Toys That Made Us. Also, speaking of Spotify, if you guys Spotify out there, we came out with our November playlist.
We did. We all contributed to it.
Full on feelings. It's a bunch of songs that remind us of this time of year, you know, having to spend time with your family
nostalgia.
or traveling a lot, and, you know, the songs that kind of remind us of that. So, yeah, you know, like definitely check that out if you guys Spotify. And we'll be back next week with a brand new show, a lot more fun, and thank you guys so much for tuning in. Last but not least, YouTube winner tonight,
Woo is
Chad Lexina. Chad Lexina, you are the winner of the mug tonight. Please contact Death Wish Coffee. Either DM us on Facebook or hit up hey, Hey, at deathwishcoffee.com.
Hey.
And give us your details, and we'll send that mug right out to you. And over on Twitch and Facebook, stay in those comments. We will announce a winner as soon as we sign off. Thank you guys so much. We'll be back next week. Goodbye,
Bye.
everybody.